Okay, I found it. All right. So we are now recording. All right, great. So our very first Hope and Healthy Hope Night, and here is the stars of our show, ladies and gentlemen. These will be your amazing speakers tonight. And so what I thought was really cool is that, I share these before and after pictures on Facebook all the time. I know you guys see all these transformations. So first of all, most of the people on my Facebook, not everybody, but a lot of people know me, and they've known me for a long time. So they know that these are not just, doctored up photos of any type. These are legitimate, real, verifiable people who have gone through the same transformation or similar to my own. And more and more, I continue to encourage people to take that same journey with me. So tonight, I'm going to introduce you to some of these before and after pictures, and they're going to come alive, and they are going to tell you their story themselves. So my story, of course, just briefly, and many of you have seen it already. It was actually 2 years ago this month. I can't believe that it is 2 years already. It doesn't seem like it. But I was on Facebook, and Leanne Goff was posting her pictures on Facebook, and I said, what in the world are you doing? I have got to know what you're doing to lose that weight. So got on a call, did a health assessment, and decided to give it a try for myself. 2 days into my program, two of my friends decided to get on, and so I decided to become a coach, never dreaming that 2 years later I would be so blessed, not just by the program, but by coaching as well. It's totally changed my life. And also I lost 48 pounds, and I lost it in 5.5 months. And size 14, size 4. I had inflammation in my joints. That was gone within about 2 weeks. No more heartburn, no more insomnia, like all these things that I just thought were because I'm over 50 suddenly disappeared. And so healthy nutrition, understanding healthy habits in life can make such a tremendous change, not just in the way we look on the outside, but the way we feel. And I literally feel like I'm 34 years old again instead of 54, seriously. So I'm going to turn it over to some of them now tonight after just telling you a little bit about how the programs that we have work. So the next thing I want to just point out to you guys is that this is not a diet, okay? And I know we have a diet mindset. We think, oh, I have to go on a diet to lose weight, when truly what we need is a transformation. We need to learn how to live differently because otherwise we're going to do what we've all done. I'm sure you're one of those. You have, gotten the weight off one way or another, whether that was healthy or not, and you found yourself with the weight back on eventually at some point. So there has to be a better way, and I have found it, and so have all these other people, and we're going to share that with you in just a second. So first step that we believe to a lifelong transformation is to get to a healthy weight. For most people, over 70% of Americans are either overweight or obese. So it is a fact that the majority of people need to get to a healthy weight. That's like the first step. And you can do that with or without exercise, by the way. We have different programs according to your needs. And I personally did it with no exercise at all. And I'll just throw in the fact too, that in my first 90 days, just like if anybody else decides to be interested this time of year, I had Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. I went out of town twice. I had company twice. And all of those times I had a decision to make. Am I going to be on a diet, or am I going to learn how to live my life in a healthy way? And I said, you know what? I might make some choices that might slow down my ability to lose weight at a faster rate right now, but that's okay. It's my journey. It's what I'm choosing to do. But I made choices that were so much different than I ever made before, which have now become lifelong habits for me. So I now know how to navigate through holidays and not put on I think it's 7 to 9 pounds the average person gains during the holiday season. So not only can you avoid that, but you can also lose that or more, way more than that you could lose by the time the new year comes around. So getting to your healthy weight, then next phase, learning how to maintain that weight. That's what's important. We're not just going to take you to a place where you get there, but actually show you how to stay there as well. and then optimize your health for a lifetime. So once you get to that healthy weight, now you're learning how to maintain it. What can I do to start taking my health to an even more optimal level? So there's a saying that we're never ever in maintenance. We're always either declining or improving. So we just want to be looking for ways to always be in continuous improvement. So learning about nutrition, hydration, weight management, stress, sleep, motion and exercise, all of that leads to a healthy body, a healthy mind, and can also lead to healthy finances. And we'll explain that in a minute too, but truly that really ties into the stress. Looking through your life and learning how to get everything in your life in balance, you know, whether you decide to consider coaching as a financial opportunity or something down the road, even if you don't, getting your finances in order is a part of our health, because it is an area that causes so much stress for so many people. So just learning how to get your whole life in order and get healthy. So our plans or our programs that we have 4 components to them. So the first one is you'll have a coach when you do your programs. The second one is the community. And we have an amazing community through Zoom calls like this, through live events. You can watch the recordings. We have a Facebook group of over 25,000 people with tons of recipes, encouragement, and support. It is one of the most uplifting environments. You will love it. We have the Habits of Health Transformation System, which is absolutely amazing. It deals with all the things I just mentioned before, the stress, the sleep, the nutrition, weight management, all of that together, learning how to keep your life in balance so that you're healthy through and through. Dealing with the emotional eating that we often do, the stress eating. I'm telling you, in our society, we have emotional attachments to food. We have situational attachments. We don't know how to sit down. Some things I hear in front of the TV without a bowl of popcorn, or we don't know how to go to the movies and not eat the big thing of popcorn with tons of extra butter and a bag of M&Ms. You know what I'm saying? We have to learn how to create new habits in our life and not have a situation tied to food all the time. So we help teach you that as well. And then the last component of our programs is what we call our fuelings, which are fuel for your body, small portion controlled meals that are super healthy, no artificial junk in them, no diet medicine or anything, just strictly healthy nutrition that actually causes you to burn your fat and lose weight in a healthy way where you're not hungry and you have tons of energy. So all it takes is a short 30-minute health assessment, and that will determine which plan is right for you. So now I would like to introduce some of the amazing people that when I made that decision to become a health coach and said, oh, I'm just gonna sign a few friends, you know, not really trying to be a health coach. You know, I just was excited. And so many of you saw me on Facebook start saying, oh my goodness, I'm down 5 pounds, I'm down 10 pounds, I'm down 20 pounds, I'm down 30 pounds. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And so as I journeyed, you know, many of you were watching. These people who are going to share now, all were watching as well. So Todd and Catherine Heller are from Wisconsin. Todd, I have known since grade school. We went to grade school all the way through high school together up in Wisconsin. And I had the pleasure of, we connected on Facebook. Everybody could put themselves on mute, please, so we don't have the background noise. That would be great. And just going to try to mute a few of them here that are not muted. There we go. And so I had the opportunity to meet them, and they reached out to me on Facebook and said, hey, we see what you're doing and we want to know what you're doing. How can we achieve those same results? And so I am now going to ask Todd and Catherine to come off of mute and share their story.
Thanks, Mary, for inviting us. We're super excited to share our journey. It's been a long journey and it's been a great journey. So we're going to try to give you just a short synopsis on all the wonderful things that have happened to us way beyond the weight. But this was my biggest skeptic right here, so I'm going to let him talk first.
So I was the skeptic. I was the person that held everything back. It took us a couple months to make our final decisions, but it was because me. I had all the excuses. I was the salesperson. I knew where all the best foods were. I knew that I could get away with drinking milk and eating cheese and doing all the bad things. But in the end, we decided to go. And what happened next was mind-boggling for me. In the first month, I lost 28 pounds. By the end of the second month, 42 pounds. End of the third month was 55 pounds. And it was undeniable that you can actually do this. It was renewed hope for the first time in my life. I started reading and educating myself on what was going on, and that it's really not your fault. Food companies and people all around you, they're trying to trick your body into eating more than you actually should and need. And what happened more than pounds, I ended up losing 97 pounds to date. And it's not about the pounds. It's not about the pounds. It's about the renewed everything in life. I could tell you about the medications that I no longer have to inject. I could tell you about the better sleep. I could tell you about fitting into clothes that I haven't fit into since high school. Going from a size 44 as a guy to a 28 in 9 months. That's crazy. Who in their right mind could possibly think that that could happen?
Yeah.
But the coolest part about this whole program is that it's a gift that you can re-gift. You can give it over and over and over again. And if you think that it's a blessing to yourself, it's more of a blessing to give it to somebody else. And that's you. So my takeaway from this and my giveaway is if you think that you can't, you're wrong. You can. And this program can do it. It works, it's proven, and it's repeatable. And the things besides weight, to be financially, emotionally, and spiritually renewed in a place that you've never been able to do before is possible. And this gives you the beginning part of it, and it gives you the end part of it. And all you have to do is follow it. But I owe a lot, not just to Mary, but to my beautiful wife, Catherine, who was also my coach. So with that, I'll let Catherine talk.
So when I started on this journey, I've lost up close to 82 pounds, and in the year that I've done this, the first month I was 20 pounds down. I've gone from a size 24 to a size 6. The last time I can remember being in a size was size 8, and that was in high school. So this has been mind-boggling to me. He was a skeptic, but I did have my reservations too. So the biggest part of all of this was just watching all of the things that have happened that have been non-scale victories, and it's been amazing. But the journey that this has taken us through coaching has probably been the best journey ever. We were able to spend 11 weeks this last summer with my mom, who was dying, and another family member of ours that passed away. And if we did not have the gift that we've been given by coaching and helping others, that would have never happened for us. So that's been a huge blessing to us too. So helping others and watching the joy come back into this man's life, and just that's the joy of all of this. So we're super glad, Mary, that that you introduced this to us, and we're very grateful for you.
Yes, wonderful. Well, the feeling is mutual. I mean, the relationships that you build through this are just amazing. My life is so much richer with you in it, and all the rest that are going to share as well. I just can't say enough about it. And I will say, to add on to what Catherine was saying, that segues right into our next speaker, because so Catherine, being at work, of course, you know, one of the side effects of our program, everybody's going to want to know what you're doing. So people are asking her constantly, oh my goodness, look at you, what is happening? And so with that, she ended up having our next speaker come on as a client. And I am now going to share my screen again and share her picture with you. I'm getting pretty good at this technology stuff here, so I think. All right, so let's see. There we go. So our next guest is Lindsay Ellis. Lindsay has an amazing story too, as you can see by her picture. So Lindsay, why don't you come off mute and tell us what happened next after you asked Catherine, hey, what are you doing?
Hello. So I am Lindsay, and a couple of years ago, I had a very bad back injury, and after that, I continuously kept putting on weight, and it got to the point that it was really starting to take a toll. So I got to the point where I could barely function through a day. If I sat too long, I was in pain. If I stood too long, I was in pain. If I walked too long, my back would start spasming. So it was just completely unbearable. I finally had to get on medication to numb my pain sensors, which then caused me to toss and turn all night. So then I had to get on sleeping pills. So it was just this huge domino effect of things that I felt like I couldn't control at the time. And after about 6 months of not being able to get good sleep, I was basically a walking zombie. And I was talking to Catherine at work and just kind of going through all this and said, I don't know if there's a bigger issue here or if I just need to get the weight off and this will solve itself. But no doctor is going to help me until I do something about my weight. So back in March, I was almost 300 pounds. And we're about 6.5 months in, I'm down 115. So that has been amazing. After about a week on program, I got off my sleeping pills and I've slept sound every night since. About 2 months in, I got off the medicine I was taking for my back and I have no pain anymore. And then, because of all of this, me and my boyfriend took a trip to New York and we were able to walk 43 miles in 3 days, which is insane. And I never thought I'd be able to do that. And if I still was overweight, I wouldn't have been able to do that at all. I had a bunch of my friends who really could use this program. And, I told Catherine for months, I'm not coaching. I don't want to coach. I'll just send them your way. And one day I just was like, okay, let's hear what you have to say. And it really has, not only have I built even just a community around me with my friends, people I haven't talked to in a couple of years, who I now talk to on a regular basis. But also like seeing my friends get great victories, off medications, and just feeling better, seeing the results. And then also financially, just I don't have to stress anymore. And that in itself is just a huge victory. So also I've met amazing people such as Mary, and this has all completely changed my life.
Awesome. I love it, Lindsay. And tell everybody about your picture with your boot in the middle there.
So I always had to wear wide calf boots, and about 2 months ago, they didn't fit anymore. They were way too big, and I was still at the point where I couldn't quite fit into normal boots yet. So as of this last weekend, I can officially wear whatever boots I want.
We call those non-scale victories, by the way, everyone. Lots of ways to measure success besides the scale. And that's what it's all about. It's about lifelong change and looking for changes in so many ways. Thank you so much, Lindsay. All right, so moving right along, our next guest is, there we go, is Bill Blane. Bill is here in Georgia, right here in Atlanta with me. And I met Bill through a common friend. I think it's going to be, I don't know, it's 2 years. It's about going on 2 years, yeah. And a 1.5 or 2 years anyway. Bill's a mighty man of God, powerful ministry. He calls himself a transformation coach because he helps people transform their lives in many ways. And so we were having a conversation one day and I said, you know, I transform lives too. I just do it a little differently than you. And this might be a really good tool in your tool belt. And he said, well, you know, I could maybe use that as well. So let Bill come off mute and tell his story.
Oh my
There
gosh.
you should be off.
Why do I need to say anything? I mean, Catherine, Todd, Lindsay, y'all just blew it up. You gave me a great appreciation for Wisconsin. Although I couldn't. How did you come off the cheese in Wisconsin? I don't know how that works, but congratulations on that. Although I still love cheese.
All things in moderation, right?
Moderation. There you go. Well, I'm Bill Blane. I'll try to make it short. I'm going to take you on a little journey or maybe a trail of sorts. I grew up in a little town in Virginia. I was one of 4 kids. I was the youngest. We were in an athletic family, so athletics was big to me. Didn't worry about my weight or anything, just because we were always on the go. I came to Atlanta, Georgia, and took a job in commercial construction. A lot of stress there. Worked long hours. Got married, have 4 kids, and so all that kind of piled up. And reason I'm telling a little bit of that journey, I got a yeast infection. I had a lot of allergies that just kind of came on with the stress and everything else. And so I had to just kind of strip myself off of a lot of the fast foods that I was eating, and I really wasn't eating all that well. And that time period taught me that something was wrong in my eating habits, but I didn't really pay attention. I was still working too hard. So fast forward to now, I kept the weight off then, but when I got to now, you know, the kids are all grown, and I noticed that they were grown, but I was also growing, and I wasn't liking that too much in my older age. And I was going, I got to do something with this. So it wasn't obvious or really debilitating, but it was becoming, you know, difficult for me. And I talked to Mary about it, and Mary said, well, you know, along with your coaching, you might want to try this from the standpoint of a diet too, and from a health system. And so she became what I would call my trail ranger. So she took me on a trail ranger guide. In other words, she gave me a map to begin to use for getting healthy. And I didn't know exactly what to expect, other than I trusted her and I trusted the map. And as I began to go on this, you know, she took me on the trail. She told me where the right spots to go and how to avoid certain things. And 2 months later, you know, I lost the weight. But let me tell you something else that happened with that, along with, like she says, those other ingredients that come in with the system. You know, like the community was around me. She was around me as a coach. The process was working. And then I started getting a brain that understood how my body worked a lot better. And all of these things became something sustainable. So now that I'm off program, I've got something that can take me on the trail further. Mary's still with me in a sense, but now I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Maybe I want to do this and bring others on the trail and show them the journey too. So this whole thing's been really good. But I want to share one thing that really surprised me, besides just losing the weight and all that, which was very, very helpful to me. But like Todd was sharing, I was exploded by the benefits. It was kind of like if you've ever gone on a trail and you came around that certain place and you can look out there and say, whoa, what a view. You know, you just want to take it all in. Some of the things that happened to me, it just blew me away. Like I had bloating that I've been working on with my doctors, like a medical doctor. It wasn't debilitating, but it was it was frustrating. And my intestines weren't clearing and stuff like that. And lo and behold, after just being a few weeks on the program, all this stuff, I said, Mary, does that come with this? I didn't hear that in the information, but she said, yeah, all this, your system just begins to, your metabolism comes clear again. You get everything back in sync. And so all these things, my head started clearing up, my joints felt better, my strength was back. So I just went, whoa, this is way too incredible. The vista from this trail is just too much. I've got to invite other people on it. So Mary, thanks again for letting me just share a little bit of that tonight. But I love the Wisconsin folks. You've really blessed my heart. Way to be there. I mean, the poundage, like you say that, but just your heart for people. What a great gift. So thanks, Mary. Thanks for letting me come on.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bill. And so, yeah, so one thing about Bill's story that I like that's unique is we always think that to get in a health program, oh, I have to have, 80 or 100 pounds to lose, or, 50 or something significant. But we don't, I forget exactly if it was 12 or 15 that Bill lost. First of all, I didn't even think he needed to lose any weight, literally. I just thought he already coaches people and transform their lives. This would be a great way for him to transform lives in addition to that. But when I shared it with him, he's like, yeah, well, I need to lose. And so he plays racquetball. He goes to the gym like 6 days a week, swims, does all these things. So we have programs that work well for people who have intense workout schedules, as well as people like I think everybody else who's shared up to this point, I don't think worked out at all during their weight loss phase. So it just depends where you're at. There's something for everybody. And Bill was, really excited because he said he could keep up with all the young guys on the racquetball court now after he got those couple pounds off, so. Oh, hang on. Wait, hold on. You're muted, Bill. Okay, there we go. Go ahead. You were muted. Go ahead.
One quick thing that I forgot to share, I mentioned the bloating and so forth in the intestines. I'd been working on that with some medical doctors and natural doctors. And I calculated the other day, I hadn't really thought about it too much because it was sort of subliminal to me, but I spent about $4,000 over about a 5-year period, just going to them saying, hey, can you figure this out? And they were good about trying, but all of a sudden I'm on the system and it disappeared. That just like blew my mind. And I just saved, if I'd have known of the program beforehand, I would have saved that money. It was just, I just wanted to kind of throw that in there. It's kind of astounding looking back. And again, not about the doctors, but this system just had more power and punch to it than I realized. So, and it would have saved me that money going forward if I'd have thought about it.
Great point. Yes, great point. It's so true. Healthy nutrition, that's it. Our bodies were meant to operate with healthy nutrition. And when we treat it right and we learn how to take care of it, it works. So our final speakers tonight are Clint and Elisa Hendry. Elisa's filling in for both of them tonight. They live in Florida. I know Elisa and Clint from when I used to live in Jacksonville, and we went to church together. So we've been friends on Facebook, and she just saw me posting and said, hey, what are you doing? And here we are now getting to do a lot of life together. It's very exciting. So take it away, Elisa.
Okay. Thanks, Mary. For me, I was a big skeptic, of course. As you know, it took me 6 months to try it, and I'm kicking myself that I waited 6 months. But when I started, I remember telling my husband, I did it first on my own, the plan, and I just remember telling him, like, I'll be happy if I could lose 5 pounds in a month. Like, that's what I mean, I needed to lose more than that, but I was just excited to even lose 5. I was running and doing like kickboxing twice. Like, I'd run in the morning and then during lunch hour I do kickboxing, and I obviously was not eating correctly because I was gaining weight and I wasn't losing, and I needed to lose. I had high blood pressure. My doctor kept trying to put me on, I had really high cholesterol, and I was pushing back on taking medicine for that. And even, which is embarrassing, just even like a fatty liver I had. And my doctor would have me come in every 6 months and say, just try to lose some weight. And once I started the plan, it's amazing. The first month I lost 20 pounds. And so I did a huge happy dance. And then the second month I lost another 10 pounds. And by then I'm down 30 or even more. I think it was about 35. And I went back to my doctor, and he did all my blood work, and every single thing was normal. So it wasn't just like, it's been years I've been going to him. He's been checking my blood work, and he's like, this, you gotta, we gotta lose some weight. This is what's going on.
Uh-oh, we lost your sound.
Low vitamin D. And by doing this plan, I had everything normal again. All of my blood work looked amazing. My blood pressure's normal, which I've been working years on getting that down. So for me, it was such a health thing. And so just the added bonuses, and when people would be like, oh, you look good, and you're like, what? You're like in shock because you're just excited, truthfully, that you're not, you don't have to deal with taking medicines, and that you're healthy for your kids. So I have loved it. I loved the part about the community on Facebook. I didn't think that'd matter, and that has helped me a ton, just going out there and having a big group of people, not a small group, a huge group to encourage me. Having the coach has been humongous for me, Mary, and other people. Just even hearing these stories on this call, you were constantly hearing people share their breakthrough. And I think Mary knows the biggest part is now my sister-in-law talked me into coaching her. So I went ahead and signed up. And now I obviously can't get enough of it because I have these amazing people come into my life, and I get to see them come back and say, oh, the doctor said that my blood pressure's down. I can get off my medicine. I'm no longer like diabetics, and it's just amazing stories. So I could talk about it for a long time, as you know, Mary, but it's just been a huge win for our family too, because then my husband ended up getting on it, and he is doing amazing. So he didn't have as many health issues as I did, but he had to lose some weight, and he's doing great on it.
Yes, and there's his picture as well. I mean, they both, it's just been life transforming for them, most definitely. And just to see, again, all of us, you just get to the point where your life is so transformed and changed, you want everybody else to experience it too. And so, who better to coach them than somebody they know and trust? And so it just works out that way. And it's just an honor to have all of these that have shared tonight, to be on their team and to be a part of the way that they're changing the world. And we're all just changing the world together. So, so now I would just like to leave you with some next steps for everybody who's watching. And your next steps are, first thing I want to encourage you to do is figure out what is your why. So there's some reason that you got on this call tonight, or that you're watching this replay. What is your why? We all have something that we just want. We know what that result is. We need to get our blood pressure down. We need to get our blood sugar down. We need to lose the weight. Our joints hurt. We have that wedding coming up that we want to fit in that dress, or that event coming up, or whatever your why might be. Everybody's whys are different. Maybe you've struggled with obesity since childhood. Maybe you're like Bill and you just need to lose 12 or 15 pounds so you can beat the young guys in racquetball in the gym. Everybody's got different reasons and different aspects of their why. And it can be a multifaceted why. It could be all of the above, get your blood pressure down and get the weight off. So what is your why? Your why is what will lead you into action. And don't be afraid to dream. I think, whenever I ask people, what is your goal? What would you like to see? Where are you today? And where would you like to see yourself? What would that look like? They always give me the safe answer. They give me the answer. It's like, well, if I could just lose 20 pounds, I'd be fine. Or if I could just get, under 200, I'd be fine, when maybe their ideal weight is more like 150 or something, and it's that safe number because they're afraid to dream. But I want to tell you, don't be afraid to dream. What could a healthy you accomplish? What would life look like for you? So I encourage you to dream about that. And don't be afraid to fail. So many of us have tried so many things before and nothing's worked. Or it worked for a minute, but it all came back. Why? Because we didn't change our mind. We didn't change our emotional attachment to food, the way we think about food. We have habits that we didn't know were bad. I have habits that I realized, oh, well, that explains I was sabotaging my own metabolism. I didn't know that. So I see people all the time. They go into the gym. They're there 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, working out like a beast. And they're stressed out about it because they're exhausted from it. They really don't even want to do it. But they don't understand how to balance the nutrition with that so that they have the results they're looking for. So they're not getting anywhere in their journey, and we can help with that too. But none of us are perfect. None of us get it all right. Even, we have a fear of getting on any kind of a plan, because then what if I mess up? You know what? You're going to mess up. We've all messed up. But you know what? We get right back on. And it's okay, because you never go alone. You have the group, Facebook, you have your coach. And I was going to try to people if I could here. Let's see, I'm not sure who is unmuted. And so don't be afraid, because you never go it alone. And then, so the final step is to reach out to the person who invited you or shared this video with you today, because they are somebody who no doubt has been transformed and has a desire to see the lives of others transformed. And they have tools that can work for you, that can teach you, that can transform not just a short period of a diet, but literally a lifelong transformation, because the best version of you is waiting. And 2020 could be your year. This is almost the end of a decade we're coming in on here. And what could this next decade look like for you? I know, like I said, I feel 20 years younger, and I'm excited to jump into it. So God bless everybody for coming tonight. We're so thankful that you joined us. And please reach out to that person and share this video with somebody that's on your heart too, that you think could get some life transformation. All right. Blessings, everyone. Bye-bye.